Hi, welcome back to Mondays with Mike. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers. You fathers make an amazing impression on this world, so thank you for all that you do. Keep up the good work and enjoy your day and the days that are ahead. So, and I'm in my backyard right now. This is the very back of my yard, and there's a tree behind me, and if you look on the side of it, you'll see there's a little mark on it. That was actually from a storm that came through a couple of weeks ago. A really big storm, and it actually took off probably more than a third of the tree. There was a huge 40-foot section that fell off the tree. I never had that happen before, so I went out the next morning trying to figure out what I was going to do, thinking maybe I have to go buy a chainsaw, or I started asking around about tree services. And so I'm out there surveying the damage, and one of my neighbors walks up, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about that. We'll get out there later this morning, and we'll take care of it." I'm like, "What?" So I went back to my house, and sure enough, within an hour, there were several guys out in my far backyard with chainsaws. So I went out there, and I helped as best I could, but this was a huge part of a tree, and we knocked that thing out in 45 minutes. We had all the debris removed, we had the logs stacked, just like that. We were all actually kind of amazed and said, wow, that went really quickly. You know, we hear it a lot of times where we hear sayings like, you know, many hands make light work, or teamwork makes the dream work. You know, there's some truth to that. You know, when you work together, you can accomplish a lot more things quickly than you could by yourself. I mean, in fact, if I had actually gone out and bought a chainsaw, I would have probably spent all day and still had a pile of debris when I was done with it. One, because I don't really use chainsaws a lot, and two, things just seem to go longer when you're out there by yourself. You know, I feel like too often we try to do things on our own. You know, we try to do things in our own strength because, I don't know, maybe we don't feel that we can trust people, or maybe we just want to have the credit and the great feeling of having accomplished something on our own. You know, but the reality is, you know, we weren't really made to do this life on our own. We can certainly not be as effective as possible when we try to do things on our own. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 and 10 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to pick them up." You know, the reality is you can try to do things on your own, and you can push people out of your life, but eventually you're going to need somebody. And if you push all those people away, they're not going to be there to help you. You know, we need to be able to receive. I know sometimes it's harder to receive than it is to give, but we need to be able to receive just as much as we give. We were made for each other. You know, the tools that we need aren't just at Home Depot or at our local store. The tools that we need are in our neighbors and in our coworkers and even our kids. You know, if you try to do things on your own, you'll accomplish something, I can guarantee you. But I can also guarantee you'll accomplish far less than you would if you worked with others. That's just how we're made. You know, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. 1 + 1 usually equals 10. And so that's why we need each other. We need to work together. So don't be afraid to accept help. Don't be afraid, obviously, to be helped. But the tools that you need are all around. The people that you need to get, you know, to accomplish the goals that you have are right next to you. So reach out, connect, and that'll allow you to live your best day. We'll talk to you next week.